Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm going to start the meeting by asking someone to talk about the minutes of the November 13th meeting and ask for an approval.
This
This
is
is
Travis.
Natalie.
Move approval.
I will.
Mel at second.
I do Travis and Natalie.
Perfect.
Okay. So we'll take a vote. All in favor, say aye to approve the minutes of the November 13th meeting.
Aye.
Aye.
Any dissents? No, it is approved. Okay, the next one is the ESS election of officers. I believe that at this moment, I will take any nominations for the.
This is Mel at Cedar. I'll nominate Jamie at Adams.
This is Travis. I'll second that for chair.
Do we have any other nominations?
This is the nomination for chair.
For chair of
Okay.
the ESS Coordinating Committee.
Thank you.
Hearing none. Do I have a motion
I think we have
to
a
approve?
motion.
To approve?
We just need a
Okay,
vote.
so now we just need a vote. All in favor of appointing Jamie Stargell as
Aye.
chair of the ESS Coordinating Committee? Say
Aye.
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 Any dissents? Hearing none, I will say we have approved JC. Do you say Stargell or Stargell, Jamie?
Stargell.
Stargell as the president of the ESS Coordinating Committee.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I also want to bring a point up is that I am the vice chair of this committee, and I've got a lot on my plate, and I am here till the 26th, till the end of this year. But I would like to see if there would be someone else who would take over as the vice chair of this committee. And at this time, I'd like to nominate Travis Case as a vice chair.
This is Jamie. I'll second that. Travis is good with that.
Travis, are you good with that?
Okay.
I appreciate it. I just have a lot going on, and I'm also on the legislative committee, and I think the first 100 days are going to be pretty crazy, and we've got a lot on our plate. I don't want to tell Travis that in case he backs out, but as we all know, there's a lot going on in this department, and so I really think we need somebody that's here more full-time than I can give it.
So just for clarification, I have Julie nominating Travis for vice chair. And if I had it correctly, Jamie seconded that motion.
Correct. All in favor? Say aye.
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 Do we have any dissents?
Does it count
Hearing
if
none?
I dissent?
No, you can. You can if you want, but you don't win.
It's all good.
Thank you, Travis. So I here now approve Travis as the vice chair of the ESS Coordinating Committee, and I am going to hand over this meeting to Jamie.
Thank you, Julie. Just want to make sure we still need to do a secretary treasurer, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Is there a nomination from the floor on a secretary / treasurer, one position?
I thought Natalie was still going to be it through the 26th, but I think she's doing a great job if she would continue to do it.
I will continue unless somebody else would like to step in.
Great. Is that a motion, Julie?
Yes, motion to nominate Natalie.
I'll second that motion.
All right. It's been moved and seconded for Natalie to serve as secretary treasurer. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. All right. Thank you all very much. Okay, moving on. I did notice that we skipped introductions, and there's a few people online that I do not know. So can we run through that quick? We have a DME 24.
I'm Dave Erickson. I'm a stakeholder with the
Okay.
attorneys group.
Perfect. Thank you. It just did not say your name, so thank you, Dave.
Yeah, well, it's kind of that's how it shows up on my computer. That's my initials here at the firm. So.
Gotcha. Thank you. And there was an M Hole that I did not recognize that name as well, and a 2020 operator.
Sorry, the 2020 operator is Keisha.
Okay,
That's what our system is
perfect.
called.
Thank you, Keisha. Anyone else? Did the M Hole respond? I didn't hear that
Jamie,
one.
it's Lisa. I think
Lisa?
M
Okay.
Hall is Michelle Hall from Jasper County.
Okay, perfect. Got it. Okay, perfect. All right, so moving on through the agenda, we are on contracts and agreements. We have employment of a software developer. Did I skip? Wait a minute. Sorry, I apologize. I skipped the 2026 ESS committee calendar, didn't I? Is that?
But it's not in there.
The calendar.
There it is.
Oh, the
Sorry.
calendar there is there just for information.
Okay.
You already voted on that at the last minute, so.
Perfect. I do have a question on that. We kind of have briefly discussed having a meeting in March prior to ISAC. Is that just going to be kind of an add-in if we decide that's needed at this time?
Well, I guess to me that would be the discretion of the chair.
Okay.
I would recommend keeping the quarterly meeting in February just because we have other things that are sort of in sequence. And that would be the typical time for a budget discussion as well. But if there's a desire to have a meeting in conjunction with the ISAC event or in an appropriate time in March, that certainly can be arranged. So I think that's just something that we need to coordinate with the chair.
Okay. I'll sit on that for a little bit here, and we'll get with the committee and make those decisions if that's okay, Phil. I just think it's important that before you make your exit, that we get one last great update from you. So I'll reach out to the committee after this and make sure that everybody's kind of on board with that. I know it's a long ask if we have it right before ISAC, so. Okay, moving on back to the employment of our software developer, which it looks like is Connor Lynn. You have an update on that for us, Phil?
I do. First of all, I just want to thank the committee for accepting a few action items today that are somewhat time sensitive. We did go through a search process with Myrna and Nancy and also Lisa. We did numerous interviews, several in-person interviews at the end of the process, but before that, we did also a number of video interviews. I can report to you that we did make an offer initially to a candidate who then respectfully declined, and that extended our time period of the search for a little bit. But we're very happy to have Connor join the team. He has Iowa roots, and we think he'd be very compatible with our current developers from a communication standpoint, from a skills standpoint. And this is something that we're also a little bit under budget on. And we have scheduled him to begin work on January 26th. It is our custom, just to remind everybody, to not make unilateral action. And if you were to scroll down to the offer letter, Samantha, you would see, as we normally do, we do make offers conditional upon the approval of the committee. So we don't have another meeting scheduled for February. So if we want to stay on schedule and bring Connor on board, I do respectfully request your approval. This is within and a little bit under budget. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Phil. Is there a motion to approve the hiring of Connor Lynn as our new software developer?
Since
I
Mel, I
will.
can make that motion.
Okay,
And I'll
so I have Mel
second.
making a motion. Do I have a second?
Julie seconds.
Julie seconds. Okay. It's been moved and seconded to approve Connor Lynn as our new software developer. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, all opposed, same sign. Right. It has been approved to welcome Connor onto our team.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. All right, next on the agenda is our WordPress pages update. Kristen has had a committee working hard on this, and we have an option to approve the company Visionary to work on updating our website and making it more accessible. Do you have comments, Phil?
Just a couple of quick introductory comments. One is that the committee had previously authorized us to expend up to $50,000 from the software and equipment reserve. Their price came in below that at around $29,000, as outlined in the scope of work. I also want to commend, I'm probably going to forget several names here, but we had a very good search committee to assist us in the evaluation. We identified 3 firms who were invited to submit more formal proposals. 2 of those firms then were invited to participate in a direct interview based on the application that they submitted. And then the company called Visionary was the one that was recommended by the committee. It was an evaluation process where evaluation criteria were specifically documented, and then the committee did score the applications, and Visionary came out to be the highest scoring vendor. We had a preliminary meeting with them after we issued a notice of intent to award to begin discussing the contract. As I may have documented in an email that I distributed to everybody, and we did have a number of changes that we requested in the contract agreement, which they made. We really didn't have any substantive disagreement on the contract. And I want to thank Kristen for her leadership in carrying out the review process. And we're currently scheduled, subject to approval, of kicking off the project officially on January 28th. And our objective is to have the work completed by the end of June. I would defer to Kristen if she had any additional comments to make.
I'm in the room. Can you guys still hear me if I'm on this side? I just want to say that when it came down to the final 2, it was very close. Our evaluation committee did really good at asking questions and giving feedback based on both the proposals we received and the interview process that we had. And I think we're in really good hands with Visionary. They had a really good plan. They take us through every phase of the process. Moving forward, we're also going to have logs of specific things that are being done as we move forward with updating the website. And we're really excited to update the Iowa Land Records website so that it's easier to find information. And this is not a project that's going to be done quickly. I think right now our target end date is June, but we will certainly keep you updated as that moves along. And I guess just let us know if you have any questions or any feedback about the website as we move forward with this. So I appreciate your attention to detail on this, and feel free to ask questions.
I do have a question, Kristen. Obviously not super familiar with website design, but and maybe we had this last time as well. Did we kind of keep track, or is there a way to log like how long people are spending on our pages? And will we have the option moving forward, just so we know how people are utilizing our site?
One of the first things we're going to do with Visionary is dig into our insights. We have some very basic look at how people are using our website, but we're currently limited on some engagement behavior, like you're talking about, like We can see a general amount of time that people are spending on each page, but insights have changed over the last few years, whereas Visionary may be able to help us find additional resources so that moving forward, we would have more of an opportunity to provide how people utilize our website and maybe what pages are more supportive than others. So, in short, I guess, yes, we have access to some information, but this project will help us improve that as well.
Thank you, Kristen. Is there any other questions or discussion regarding the website? If not, I will entertain a motion to approve the hiring of Visionary to get our website updated.
I'll move. This is Julie.
Okay,
To
so Julie
approve.
moves. Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the hiring of Visionary to get our WordPress website updated. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. All right. Thank you very much, Kristen, for your hard work on that. All right, at our last ESS meeting, we did kind of revisit the notification system, and Phil has generously supplied us with a memo and kind of an outline of what that notification system would look like. And it looks like we have it on the agenda to make an approval on getting some direction going for Phil. I will just say, just briefly, I've had a lot of frustration from several recorders asking why this is not getting accomplished. And I think we've got plenty of money in the reserves if that's the direction this committee chooses to move forward with. District 4, who I previously represented, which is now Keisha, the majority is in favor of continuing on with the notification system. And I also did reach out to Solutions Counties. I'm also a Solution County, and all those counties would like us to move forward as well. So based on Phil's memo, does anybody have questions for Phil at this current time? And then we'll let Phil speak to the notification system a little bit.
This is Natalie. I would like to add, I did send an email out just the other day to my district, kind of asking if their service provider, if they already had a notification with them, would they prefer using their own service provider, or did they see, the need for it to be a statewide? And the responses I did get were, yes, we believe going through ILR and using a statewide system would be best.
Anybody else have any other
This
input
is
from this committee?
Mel at Cedar. At our last district meeting, we discussed the notification system, and the majority as well were in favor of moving forward with one. So we have a consistent statewide system for all counties.
Anyone else? Bill, would you like to speak to the two primary paths that you laid out for us in the memo, please?
Sure. I guess I would say that first of all, we did receive a request. This is just an example from the Harris Solutions team to present information about their product, and this is something that they did a very fine presentation on, and I think their product, particularly from a name perspective, I'm not going to say it doesn't work or it isn't good. I think the main thing about it is that it would be more specific to a particular set of counties, and it would be similar to other systems where the systems are set up on a county by county basis, individually negotiated with individual counties and that company. And I just have to say, it is an option. It is something that would work I could even envision, possibly doing some coordination with a company like that, but it still would not really be a multi-county type of single system serving multiple counties of different sizes. Um, on the other hand, I am confident that we have two vendors that have the capabilities. They've looked at our specifications. We're sort of on the cusp of, being able to communicate with them and say, give us a more specific proposal, update it, and then maybe going through a process to choose one or the other. Um, but as I've reported to the committee in previous months, we do appear to have sufficient resources to move ahead with it. Um, and uh, and I think there has been some difference of opinion about whether this is the right time to move forward with it. Uh, and from my perspective, I have to say this is a discretion of the committee. If you were to say to us as a team that you would like us to proceed, I can say that our next steps would likely be to update the scope of work to make sure that we have addressed some additional input and questions about how the system would work, and then we would seek updated proposals from these two vendors because we don't have the internal bandwidth, so to speak, even with the hiring of Connor to do this project because we have so many other irons in the fire. And then the next thing as a part of that would be that we would go through a selection process, not dissimilar to what we just did regarding the WordPress pages, and we would develop a more specific plan and a recommendation and bring it back to this committee for review and approval. So all we're asking for at this point is, are you ready to proceed to those next steps, or do you think we need to wait a while longer? I am prepared to go either direction, and while my tenure is not unlimited, this is something that I I do support whatever you decide to do, and I would be very committed to getting it off to a good start and making sure that we did everything that we could to make it as successful as we could as soon as we could. So that's sort of where my thinking has been, and we and I are ready to get to work to the next steps, but subject to your approval. But I'd be happy to answer any other questions you may have.
Anybody have questions for Phil? And or additional comments at this time? Okay, Phil has asked us.
I have a comment.
Oh, yep. Go ahead,
my
Travis.
2 cents on this is my biggest fear is not fear, but I guess concern with the path that uses our local service providers is those of us that would have ongoing costs. And obviously, as we've gone through county budgets and stuff this year already, things are going to be very, very tight at the county level as far as I know I won't be able to find the resources in my budget in order to do this if it's outside the scope of ILR. So I support that path. That's my 2 cents.
Thank you, Travis. Any additional?
I have a comment too. Um, I have always kind of felt like this was not necessary, but lately I mean, a lot of our phone calls are coming from people. It's something that the recorders have been asking for a long time, and I agree with Travis that it's not a way that they could all do it, especially the smaller counties could do it without going through ILR. So I would support this if we have the money, and apparently we do.
This is Mel at Cedar, and I'd like to echo what Travis said. I'm not a small county, I'm a mid-sized county, and we can't afford the avenue of going through a vendor. I also think it needs to be a consistent statewide system available. We've already built that with Iowa land records. Let's just add this piece to it and allow all counties, no matter their size, to offer it to the residents.
Sorry, I just realized I was muted. I was talking to you guys and no one was hearing me. Does anyone have additional comments that they would like to make at this time?
This is Natalie. I agree with everything that's been said. I think it's time. I mean, we've had this discussion on and off for the past few years. Originally, I think we thought maybe it was something that the developers at ILR could get going. If that's not the case, then yes, I am ready to move forward with another provider to get this going. I shouldn't say provider, not a service provider that we use, but somebody else.
Okay, so what I have to. I agree with what everybody else has said. I think it's time to move forward through Iowa.
Thank you, Jolyn.
This is Keisha, and I am a small county, and of course I agree with what you guys all just said too.
Appreciate that. Anybody else have comments? All right, so I feel like we've discussed this plenty. Is someone willing to make a motion to give Phil direction on how to proceed?
I move to proceed with the notification system.
I'll
Is that
second.
Julie? Sorry, hold on just a second. That was Julie.
Yes.
This is
And Julie.
Julie. I'll second.
Okay, can you be more specific on that motion? Are you asking for us to facilitate efforts by counties? These are the paths that Phil provided to us. They're their local system, or do you want Iowa Land Records to move forward in looking at contract developers?
I want it to move forward through Iowa Land Records.
Okay, thank you. And Jolyn seconded that. Jolyn, is that still okay with you to second? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to have Phil get the move on to get our notification system going through Iowa Land Records through contract developers.
Get the move
I think
on.
I said that all right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. All right, Phil has the go ahead.
Thank you very much. I will get a move on here. I would just say you can expect me to have an update for you at the February meeting, and we'll get moving.
Great. Thank you so much, Phil. All right. Moving on through the agenda, we have other project updates, cost sharing credits and maintenance invoices.
Right. I'm going to be really quick with this. This is the reason I provided a memo to you in the packet, so we wouldn't have to talk about everything. I'm just going to maybe just give you an update from what was in the memo on each of these items. The first one is this week I have worked on the e-submission ratios information that the cost sharing credits are based on, and we've had a chance to analyze the 2025 data. I'm pleased to report that e-submission activity has grown from 67.23% in 2024 to 71.39% in 2025. So that's a reflection of a little over 4% in terms of increased proportion of e-submission activity for all recording activity. Now that we have analyzed those numbers, I have prepared a recommendation which we will ask you to confirm at your February meeting, but you authorized me to go ahead and calculate the cost sharing credits for each county which we'll be finishing up this week, and therefore the invoices to the counties for the maintenance share is expected to go out before the end of this month. Also, I would just update and report that you in your 2026 budget allocated $140,000 for the purpose of the cost sharing credits. And I have done the calculations that will ensure that almost all of that money will go into the cost sharing credits to the 88 counties who are participating in the cost sharing program. And that represents the counties that we have a contract with to provide maintenance services in calendar year 2026. That's my update there. I'd be happy to answer questions.
Thank you, Phil. Are there questions for Phil? Okay,
Okay, the next topic is on the finance and operational practices. The finance subcommittee held this meeting earlier this month, and we did talk about a number of policy changes and procedures affecting the finance subcommittee. Generally speaking, the intent is to provide greater transparency about the activities and the procedures of the committee, and to clarify some operating policies for the committee itself, such as nominating and electing a chair and a vice chair, making sure that the codification is there to authorize the chair and the vice chair to make motions and vote. But we also elaborated a little bit further on what the budget making process was. That was presented to the Finance Subcommittee for review. The information that was shared with the Finance Subcommittee is in your packet, and we would commend that to you for your review. The Finance Subcommittee did not take any action. They deferred continued discussion until a future meeting with the intent that I think each of the members of the Finance Committee were going to circulate this information back out to the membership in the districts to get further feedback. So I think if I could say, the comments that we received from the committee, the subcommittee, were fairly favorable. I'll interpret it that way, and that they felt like the draft that we presented to them was a fair reflection of the input that we had received to date. But they just felt like they needed to provide membership with some additional opportunity to comment. So that is where that at. I don't know for sure if this will come back up at the February meetings or not, but the opportunity is there to do that if you and the Finance Subcommittee wish to. I think that the discussion has been a good process, and I look forward to their further feedback. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
think you can continue on, Phil, through the
All
director
right,
search.
the next update is on the director search. So I would just report to you that over the course of, well, since the holidays, right, when in December, we started this search process officially. We posted and promoted advertisements on Indeed and also on LinkedIn. We received over 175 applications. I think we received about 25 new ones over the weekend this week. And I want to thank Lisa and Samantha. They were the ones that did the initial read of all the interviews, and they did do some, I'm just going to say, very preliminary and rudimentary scoring of the candidates. And all of that information and every resume has been passed on to the members of the search committee, which is comprised of the elected leadership of the ESS committee and the ICRA executive board. So that has been a good process. The committee has given us feedback to identify their top candidates. And I can't name them right now because I just don't remember them. But what we're going to do is that we're going to begin scheduling video interviews, and those will probably occur at the end of this month. And then the many other candidates that we received information from, those that did not score high enough or weren't of interest to the members of the subcommittee, we're going to be sending out notices to them very shortly, just to politely say that they did not meet the criteria as well as some other candidates, and we're going to be moving on. So that's where that's at. It's in play. People have been identified. I can't speak to the qualifications of any particular candidate at this point, nor would it be my place to do that. My role here has been to facilitate a process, and so far that's underway, and we'll see where it ends up. But I think by the time we get to the February meeting of the ESS Coordinating Committee, we'll have a very good fix on what the next steps are going to be. There are other members on the group call here today that might want to share their perspectives as well, and I would defer to them for any additional comments.
I have a question. Is that actually we got quite a few applicants, which is kind of amazing, number one. And there was quite a few amazing people, but I read most of them that you sent out, and we have some very highly qualified applicants, which really impressed me as well. And I want to thank you for scoping it down for us a little bit, because there were quite a few. My question to you is, when you reviewed all these applicants, do you feel like you got a good enough diversity of applicants where you feel like you saw enough to make your decisions? Because I've already made my decision, but I just was wondering if you got enough, because we had some that ranged pretty high up and some that were really low. But did you get a good enough diversity to get a look at?
I think she's directing that at Samantha. So.
Yeah.
I can speak to it. I think yes. I mean, Julie, you saw all of the resumes. The experience and qualifications were very varied. Across the board in almost every occupation, lots of people coming from healthcare, some from education, some from business, some from law, some from finance. So I think really there's people coming from everywhere. No one really checked all the boxes. I think we included that in our memo to the committee initially. But there are some really good candidates in there, and I do think they're very diverse. We haven't closed the application or the postings on LinkedIn and Indeed yet. I think we received one in the mail. But Samantha, would you agree?
Yes, I would agree.
If there's no need to keep it open.
Well, we will close it at some point. We'll wait for direction from the committee.
Yeah. I mean, I saw the list and I thought that was pretty diverse, but I just wondered what you thought.
This is not to conduct interviews, but the committee is scheduled to have a video conference call next week. And at that time, I think we'll get an assessment from them about, do they want to keep it open or not? Do they feel like they have enough applicants and so on? And then we'll decide. Our intention was to leave it open for about 30 days. That was the original intent. I don't think we initially expected to get as many as we did.
I know.
And so it kind of seems a little bit overwhelming, and you're kind of tempted to say, stop, no more. But on the other hand, no harm is being done in terms of accepting a few additional applications. And we haven't cut anybody off. So anybody new that comes in the door, basically we're going to go through the same process where Lisa and Samantha are going to do the same kind of scoring. We're going to pass it on to the search committee and let them make a decision. And I would just want to be clear with everybody that I'm trying to, in my role, facilitate a process, but I'm not inserting myself into the evaluation of candidates. Lisa and Samantha are doing that initial work, and then ultimately it's the decision of the search committee to decide who they're going to advance forward. And then ultimately it will be the decision of this committee to make that decision. That's just what we're doing.
Phil, it's Lisa again. I think we can also say, based on the number of applications we received for the developer's position, there are a lot of people looking for new jobs currently. So that, I think that reflects a lot of it.
This is
I don't
Jamie.
have anything further. That's the update. We'll have more information at your February meeting, and if anything happens before then, we'll be sure to let you know.
Okay, and Jamie had a comment.
Yep, I do. I just honestly, I know Julie said this, but like, major thank you to Lisa and Samantha for combing through all the resumes and cover letters. I mean, that the applicants are vast from all of their experience, and you guys did a fabulous job kind of whittling that down for us. And I'm really looking forward to just seeing what we can come up with in the long run, and hopefully we find a good fit. I know I made the comment to Lisa and Sam via email, but I'm just also thinking, like, can the person grow with this position? I mean, it's obviously a position that's kind of unique to Iowa. Like, there's nothing else like it, and we just want to really make sure that we find the good fit. And I think we can do that with the candidates that we have. So thank you again very much for your help with that.
Absolutely. Amen.
Okay, Phil, so you've got office relocation review update.
Okay, my short update on that is that Lisa and Samantha and I have been collaborating on identifying criteria that would be desirable for the next office space. We shared some of the basic configuration parameters that we have developed with the leadership of the association and ESS just to get their input. They gave us some additional criteria, such as office security, that they expressed a desire to definitely be a part of the review. I do have a network of commercial brokers that I know in the Des Moines area from my economic development work. I have identified and updated my list, and we're going to be sharing the criteria that we developed with them and soliciting their assistance in identifying office spaces that are located generally in the western suburbs. Um, some input that I was seeking was the idea of, for the first time, this would likely involve a multi-year lease. The parameters that we identified suggest that possibly a lease of 2 to 3 years would be acceptable. Uh, and I don't know how that will play in the marketplace, but there is office space available in the greater Des Moines area, and our intention is to do the research on it, and then maybe as early as February, come back with some options for the committee to consider, and then the ultimate target is to relocate by April 1st, if that is humanly possible. Not that I don't love you all, but I do have a feeling that there's a desire to relocate with the transition, and so that's what we're doing. So we're in the research and shopping phase right now, and we'll have more to share with you in the coming weeks, but it is underway.
Thank you, Phil. Is there anything else for the good of ESS Iowa Land Records at this time?
Jamie, congratulations. You're going to make a wonderful leader. And Travis, you too.
Thank you. We'll do our best.
Full confidence.
Okay, well, I think that covers everything. I'll send out an email shortly on potentially having a March meeting if you guys are agreeable to that and what our thoughts are, as well as some other tidbits. I kind of have some ideas just as chair on things that I would like to see happen this year. You know, we worked on our policies and procedures with a special working group, and we do need to pick that back up as well. But of course, timing is everything, right? And so we're in legislative session right now, and we need to see how that plays out. I think that's what the financial committee is also looking at. You know, nobody wants to make decisions right now because we're kind of in that limbo right now with legislative session being on. So I think we should be looking at moving forward with that after March and potentially even after we get a new project director settled in as well, or executive director, however you want to look at that. It's going to be really important too in the coming year that we keep our line of communication open with our staff. I mean, they're going through significant changes by losing their leader as well and Phil. So we need to be making sure that Lisa and Samantha and Kristen and our developers that they feel encouraged and positive moving forward in this next year. The other thing that I have just kind of some thoughts on, I keep kind of a running list of thoughts in my own folder on what we can do as recorders. And we're kind of in a new era, right? There's a lot of technology changing, which is ever changing, but now we have artificial intelligence. And I think there's some things that we can do with that as Iowa Land Records. And I'll toss some of those ideas out in an email and see if anything sticks. And maybe some of you guys have ideas too to share on how we can move this project forward. But times are changing, and I think I've heard Phil say before that we have to grow with it or get left behind. So I want to make sure we kind of keep that mentality as recorders moving forward. So thank you guys for the opportunity to serve as your ESS chair this year. Hopefully we can move forward in a positive direction.
Thank you, Jamie.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jamie.
All right, so we will meet next time on February 19th. If everybody's agreeable to that, and we will see you then.
See you
Sounds
then.
good.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
Bye.
again,
Yeah.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.